Thanks for coming and taking a minute to learn about the jupyterhub notebook that Code for cville has running. We're based on the littlest jupyterhub. Jupyter, so just so that you're familiar with what we're running, this is our backend. It's pretty standard distribution. And we fired it up. This is what it looks like. Stuff that's a little different that we've added in here that I'm kind of excited about is we've set up polyglot notebooks, which are multi-language notebooks. This just means that if you click up here and you get the SOS notebook as a kernel, you can come in here and on every cell choose which language you're using. And there's more documentation over here, but bottom line is that it should let you share a little bit more between team members and hand things off more easily. The other thing that this is built for is building workflows. So if you get involved in projects that require kind of continuous integration, data and updates and things like that, that's exciting work. We're ready for that, and we can do a little bit of business process automation with this infrastructure. So that's something we're looking forward to getting into. It's not something that's being done right now, but hopefully, as we get further along in working with teams, that'll be something we think about. Next big piece that's in here that isn't just standard off the shelf, you go to the hub control panel here. You'll see at the top there's a place called dashboards. There's some other stuff going on down here, but looking at the dashboards up here, this is a place. Look at it, create a new one if you wanted to, and you have a choice of different tools. Really, the ones we've used most have been Streamlit, and Streamlit's neat because, for one, I mean we've got some nice boilerplate code that's already baked in. So, for the expungement project, the legal justice expungement project, we've got some great GIS boilerplate code for Virginia already done. And I think that's just, for a lot of our work, this may give you a starting point. A little second to run here. The other thing is that Streamlit is a pretty exciting ecosystem. If you haven't used it before, one Python code file doth an entire web app make, which is kind of neat. I mean, there are certainly many ways to take Python and build an app with it, but the simplicity of Streamlit is pretty exciting and something we hope you guys may take advantage of. It taking a minute to load here, but it gives you all these interactive widgets that lets you use pandas. In this case, this is a Python tool, but this gives you pandas and lets you take just standard data frames and turn those into interactive widgets pretty easily. Again, this is just some boilerplate code. We haven't put a whole lot of time into it, but you can see that it can get you off to the races in a privately, privilegedly accessible URL. It gives you some DNS right off the top that you can share with other team members. If you needed to get this back into a publicly accessible space, you would probably want to put it in the shared Streamlit environment. This is free as well. To do that, you could use Git and connect to your own personal GitHub repo. The way to do that is a little bit convoluted. To start out, you'll need to go to your settings. You'll need to go down to your developer settings, and then you'll need to get a personal access token. You'll see where we use that here in just a second. If you come over here, Git, you'll need to add a remote repository. Once you've done that, come over into your files, and you can start by doing something like, add this file, either add it or add it, ignore it. Then if you come back over here, you'll see that that file has been staged. And if you want to commit that, you can come in here, another commit, hit commit, make changes. So that's been committed. We'll go up to here. You can see the little icon shows up, and you will push that to the cloud. This is where your personal access token would come in handy. I've already got mine loaded. It's going to hit send, and now it's been successfully pushed. And if I go back over to my repo here, right here, I should see something right now. There we go. So once you had your, going back to Streamlit, once you had your files in here, you could come over to Streamlit, point Streamlit over to your GitHub file, and build an app straight off of that, which is kind of neat. And since, anyhow, if you need any help with that, let us know. We support that. The only other things that are really worth noting in this jupyterhub environment, again, you've got the SOS notebooks, you've got Git, you can make dashboards. The other stuff that's kind of, I think, potentially useful, I've got a diagramming tool in here that I think probably should get more attention. If you ever need to use it, if you want to make a diagram, you just come in here. And this is a really complete tool for doing just regular schematic drawings that you can share with people. I think that's really, just doing some visual work can be really handy. There's a lot built in here. It's just it's a pretty pretty useful tool set. I end up using it a lot. And environment variables. If you need to use, if you're planning on pushing your code up to GitHub, you may have environment variables for things that you don't want to share with the world. Let us know. We can put them in the environment variables, and then you can call them, with whatever ID you want. You can set this up on a per user basis, or if it's, we use S3 buckets. We're in the Oracle ecosystem. It's a lot like Amazon. We have S3 buckets. If you're planning on using those, let us know. I guess you don't need to. You can just use the S3 key ID and the S3 access key to interface directly with those buckets. We also, in case you're interested, we are looking at IPFS for storing data. It's a content addressing tool that allows you to point to canonical data. It's especially useful if you're doing data science with big data or streaming data. Just let us know about that. Glad to support that as well. That should be it, or certainly a good chunk of it. It's otherwise fairly straight JupyterHub, and if you have any other questions, be sure to ask in chat, Slack, or just shoot an email. Take care and all the best.